Yo, and welcome back to another episode of the Fix Sports Podcast, which is the realest, blackest, and funniest sports podcast you have ever heard in your entire life. We coming straight from the South, going down. Audio Shop Talk brought to you right in your ear hole by the boys in here. They ain't just me no more. It's the boys. Like I said, every week. We got Doc Love, Javard Grant, and Sam Dixie in the place to be with your homeboy. How y'all doing today, fellas?
Hey, bro.
Good, doing good.
Well, before I say pause.
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 Oh, man.
Y'all stupid. Hey, man. Well, welcome back to another episode. Doc, welcome back. Everybody missed you last time. We was going to start a rumor about you. We just couldn't think of a good one, so we just had to let it go.
Hey, man, I'll take that L.
All the ladies were like, what the other bald head dude? I say, so y'all ain't worried about me? They like, hell no, we want the other bald head dude. I like, forget y'all.
I ain't seen them comments, bro.
They're on the website. Hey, man. But remember, the Fix Sports Podcast is brought to y'all by On the Shoulders of Giants. And On the Shoulders of Giants brings you African history at your fingertips and on the go. Our stories from our perspective at your fingertips. To do it through their On the Shoulders of Giants book series, the On the Shoulders of Giants blog, the online course, which is available on the website at www.ontheshoulders1.com, the On the Shoulders of Giants app, which is also available on the website, the nonprofit organization, as well as now virtual educational sessions where you can get in, you can learn about a plethora of heroes of the African diaspora. Real easy, real acceptable. Smartphones, smart TVs, smart boards, tablets, everything, anything you can access through the internet, you can get On the Shoulders of Giants. Just visit the website at www.ontheshoulders1.com. We in round two, fellas. We made it through round one. We got everything set up. We're in round two. And this is where the matchups get a bit harder. So we're going to have some fun. And also, for our viewers, we're replacing the strengths and weaknesses of the teams, and we're bringing in impact players. So we're going to introduce the impact players in that element within our category so we can figure out who is the greatest college football team of the past 40 years. Of course, we got to start off with our HBCU Spotlight and end with our weekly rant. Our HBCU Spotlight is aimed at Mr. Brad Holmes, and our weekly rant, we're getting on Jeremy Pruitt in the NCAA too, because anytime we got a chance to kick dirt in the NCAA's eyes, we're going to do it. All right, so y'all ready to do this, Fellerinos?
Let's do it.
Do it, man.
Get it.
Right, because we got that HBCU Spotlight there, shut down there with them gather shoot them legs up there. Got to get it now. So the Detroit Lions has hired HBCU alum Brad Holmes to be their general manager, even though the NFL at this point still only got 2 black head coaches. We're going to let that have it at another time. But let's celebrate Mr. Brad Holmes. He's an alum of North Carolina A&T, and he's from here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, from what I understand, yeah.
One time for Tallahassee. So he started with the Rams back in 2003 as a public relations intern. He's a former Los Angeles Rams director of college scouting. He's been hired by the Detroit Lions as their new general manager. After a competitive interview process, the Lions announced Holmes would join the team. He is now locked in for a 5-year contract with the Lions, per the Detroit Press. Throughout our search for a new general manager, Brad was someone who stood out immediately, said Lions president Ron Wood. His abilities as a critical thinker, along with his extensive experience implementing technology and analytics into his approach to scouting, were among the many decisive qualities Brad displayed in our time getting to know him during the interview process. We look forward to him helping lead our organization as well as take the next steps of the team. So Holmes is 41. He started with the Rams back in 2003 as a public relations intern. He eventually moved his way up and ran the team's drafts. Though this would be the first stint as an NFL general manager, those who know his work ethic can say he's a born leader. One time for Brad. I think he will do an excellent job, as GM said Bill Hayes, a former college coach at North Carolina A&T. I know he's going to put in the work. That's the first thing about it. He's going to put in the work. He's going to make the effort, and he's a team guy all the way. He's not one of those egotistical maniacs. He's going to be a team guy. He can be trusted. He's extremely trustworthy. So I feel strongly that he would do a super job. So that's what's up. Brad Holmes, man, the new general manager of the Detroit Lions. And you know what's crazy though? I've done more HBCU spotlights on people who come out of North Carolina A&T, people who come out of North Carolina A&T than all other HBCUs combined. So whatever they got going on down there at A&T, damn it, keep it up. Cause y'all, I'm talking about football, basketball, track, indoor, outdoor track, just like all types of sports. A&T, whatever they're doing, man, it's working because they putting out ballers and they're achieving much on that field. So one time for Brad Holmes, y'all want to chime in on this? Anything? Got any words to say since he's from the Tallahassee? He a couple years old.
Actually, I think he's from Tampa.
Are you from Tampa?
Yeah, for some reason, I feel like I saw something about he might have been here, but I don't know he's from Tampa.
Well, like I said, somebody we know said he went to Florida High. So
no, but I saw somewhere else. I feel like I saw somewhere else that he came through Tallahassee for something.
Right. Well, either way, he breathed our air, so it's in him.
Yeah. Just looking at his track record, man, it's impressive with the drafts that he had with St. Louis / LA. So
right.
I mean, like, you know, picking like Aaron Donald and you know, and Ty Gurley and players like that. Yeah. So that's impressive, man.
Right. And I'm sure he had a hand in picking up people like Jalen Ramsey and others. So just looking at the collection of talent that the Rams have and how competitive they've been over the years, the brother's done a great job. So that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So Brad,
especially you can get HBC black people in those executive spots, especially in the league. That's big.
Straight up. So I know we want to still have that push for more black head coaches. Eric Bieniemy should have a job. NFL. Hey, who was the Jets hired that dude? I like, why y'all hired Bieniemy? Y'all hired such and such. But anyway, this is our HBCU spotlight one time for Mr. Brad Holmes, who's the new general manager of Detroit Lions. And so I'm not a Lions fan. Y'all know this Cowboy Nation over here. At least me and Doc, we Cowboy Nation. We got a Green Bay Packer. And Sam, I know you used to be with the 49ers. You just rock with the players now?
Pretty much. I mean, the last few years I was with Tampa Bay, but that was just because of Jameis.
Right.
So I guess I'm like a free agent now.
There it is.
Joe, I'm kind of with Sam, bro. I'll be rocking with
free agent fan. I like that.
Hey, Doc. This blood in, blood out. Hey, you can't get out.
I left with Jimmy Johnson, bro. I sneak in every now and again to see what they got going on. I left with Jimmy Johnson, bro.
You're not a real Cowboy fan if you actually like Jerry Jones. So believe that. Believe that. Hey, man, that's what's up. Y'all boy crazy, man. This is our HBCU spotlight. And let's go ahead and move on to get into these brackets. So this week, well, if you're a new viewer, we are breaking down, or we're trying to figure out who's the greatest college football team of the past 40 years. We started with 16 teams, 2019 LSU, 1995 Nebraska, 2005 Texas, 2001 Miami, 2013 FSU, 2018 Clemson, 2009 Alabama, 2004 USC, 87 Miami, 99 FSU, 97 Michigan, 96 Florida, 2008 Florida, 2012 Alabama, 08 Oklahoma, and 2014 Ohio State. So round one, we had LSU, 2019 LSU versus 14 Ohio State. LSU won. 95 Nebraska against 08 Oklahoma. 95 Nebraska won. 05 Texas versus 12 Bama. Bama won. 01 Miami versus 08 Florida. Miami won. 13 FSU versus 96 Florida. 13 FSU won. 18 Clemson versus 97 Michigan. 18 Clemson won. 09 Alabama versus 99 FSU. 09 Bama won, and 04 USC versus 87 Miami, and 04 USC won. So our first round, well, the first matchups of the second round is 2019 LSU versus 1995 Nebraska, and 2012 Alabama versus 01 Miami, which is all great matchups. So we're going to start off with impact players. Which team had I guess impact players had the biggest impact? Which impact players were the best? So our first matchup is 2019 LSU versus 1995 Nebraska. And we've come up with a consensus that the impact players, the players that we chose to represent them as far as impact players. So for 2019 LSU is Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And for 95 Nebraska is Tommy Frazier, Lawrence Phillips, and Grant Wistrom. So we got to figure out which impact players had the biggest impact. So let's just start with 19 LSU, just looking at Burrow, Chase, and Edwards-Helaire. Start with you, Grant. Why in your mind these gentlemen would be impact players?
Well, Joe Burrow literally had the greatest college football season statistically from the quarterback position ever.
Yeah.
Some of that can probably be attributed to the system that they ran prior to the previous year, because going from 16 touchdowns to 60 touchdowns is quite the jump.
Yeah.
And that means the talent was there. It just wasn't utilized properly in the prior year. And then, being that effective at the quarterback position, you're probably going to have a receiver or two be
right
in the country. And being able to be that dynamic from a passing perspective is going to open up opportunities in the run game, because you got the defense on their heel and probably in a lot of run friendly defensive looks, which open things up for the running game. And they were pretty lethal in that category as well. So you really had a three-headed monster that was tough for anyone to contain, and that was made evidence by the way that they performed as the year progressed and all the way up through the national championship.
Okay. What about you, Doc? What about these players stand out to you?
Anytime you talk about impact players, those are the guys that you scheme for, right? Like, these are the guys that beat the scheme that you work on all week. These are guys that give the coaches nightmares, right? And then even knowing what you're preparing for these guys, and they're still able to impact the game the way they are, on a week-to-week basis, on a year-to-year basis. That's what makes these guys impact players. And when you talk about the three guys you name, Chase, Edwards-Helaire, and Burrow, they did exactly that. Like, they impacted the game. No matter what the teams came in, trying to say what we won't allow them to do, what we don't want them to do, they were able to combat that with, their play on the field. So, I mean, I'm not the biggest stat guy. I think I make that very clear. I watch it on. I'm what do I see on the field, right?
Right. Right.
I could you can tell impact players by you watch just that eye test, right? You know what I'm saying? These guys pass the eye test. They get it done on the field. And so, I mean, the numbers there, all of them had the numbers, you know what I'm saying? But when you turn on the tape and you just took out all the numbers and everything, you be like, okay, those are the guys right there. So
yeah,
I mean, if you watch that 2019 team, every time you watching the tape, you're gonna be like, okay, this guy's special, that guy's special, that guy's special. You can see it. So, I mean, it is what it is. You can see it.
Right. What about you, Sam? What made these players impact players to you?
Oh man, they were just so good at all aspects of each of the positions. Like, when you look at Joe Burrow, right? I mean, he didn't really have any holes in his game. Like, you see some quarterbacks be like, oh yeah, he's really great. He's really great at throwing a deep ball. Oh, this guy's a game manager. He's gonna, take these short routes. But or maybe it's a quarterback that, he's not very mobile. He's not very athletic. But Joe Burrow could do it all. I mean, he had everything. And at the risk of, making that old stereotype, he had that sneaky athleticism. Like, a lot of teams weren't expecting that. But I mean, if you remember the games, it was so many games where he would rush for a key third down time after time after time. And then the same thing with Edwards Hilaire. I mean, like for a running back, you know, you got your different types of running backs. You got your power guys, your speed guys, your pass catchers and everything like that. But he could do it all. I mean, he could run between the tackles. He could run on the outside. And he was one of the top receivers on the team. So yeah, he could do everything. Same thing with Chase. Chase was a guy, he could win those 50-50 balls. You know, he was an excellent route runner. Like they just any three of them, they just didn't really have any holes, and they could just do everything at all three of those positions.
Yeah, like, you know, and just to add this for the context. So Joe Burrow, 5,671 yards, 60 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, it's not showing his touchdowns, but 215 attempts, 1,414 yards. Jamar Chase, 84 receptions, 1,780 yards. And then just to add on to that, to make Joe Burrow look better, they had another receiver with 111 receptions, 1,540 yards, and another receiver at 671 yards. Like you said, Joe Burrow could make every throw. I love the fact that, like you just said, Sam, how they would use him on those third downs, because once they figured out that, all right, Joe Burrow got enough wheels to get the job done, to get these first downs, like they would call key plays. It's like they spread everybody out, then just run Burrow. It's like, I forgot one game, like Burrow was they run the game for a couple of drives. And it's just like, it was amazing to see the evolution of Joe Burrow as a quarterback. So we do got to give a shout out to the offensive coordinator, because you know the systems do matter. You can't put Joe Burrow in the goddamn 95 Nebraska system. That's stupid. So systems matter. And so this offense allowed all of their talents to show. You wasn't gonna stop Chase because they had other options as well, but he still won his individual matchups. And I think a lot of times people overshadow that when they're like, well, he's good, yeah, but he's still winning his matchups. And then think about like you're going up against Dale Pitt and the other cats in Stingley in practice. So if Stingley is the best DB in the nation, and that's who you're practicing against every day, everybody else is cakewalk. And then the icing on the cake is Edwards-Helaire, because you can't stop him. Because we could get the ball in his hands in many different ways. We could put Edwards-Helaire on your best corner. Guess what? Once we put Edwards-Helaire on your best corner, who gonna check Chase? So, but he can run the peel too, and he's that short, stocky running back. He kind of like a bigger Darren Sproles, but he get the job done. I'm just thinking, like, when we was talking about those three names are the ones that immediately popped in my head as far as impact players: Burrow, Chase, and Edwards-Helaire, because of what they brought to the field. And then just looking at now what they're doing on Sundays, of course, Burrow got hurt, but Burrow was like the best offensive thing that the Bengals had. Jamar Chase is doing this thing in Minnesota, and Edwards-Helaire is contributing greatly in Kansas City, even though he's hurt, but he was contributing greatly. So to me, they did the damn thing, and they were some of the main reasons that LSU offense was high powered. All right, so Nebraska, 95 Nebraska, we got Tommy Frazier, Lawrence Phillips, and Grant Wistrom. Start with you, Sam. What make Frazier, Phillips, and Wistrom impact players in your opinion?
Oh man, just thinking about Tommy Frazier. I mean,
he just broke another tackle.
Right, exactly. When you think about an option quarterback, I mean, like, he's like the prototype. I mean, that's what you think about. I mean, he ran it perfectly. It was nuts. I mean, it was nuts the way he would run. I mean, like, he was like another running back on the team. And then when Lawrence Phillips, I mean, he was just so powerful to catch the ball and that pitch. It was deadly. I mean, they just had that two-headed monster that was just unstoppable. And Joe, like you said, anytime I think about Tommy Frazier, I just automatically think about that 96 championship game against Florida. When I think, I don't know, I know it's 11. I know it's only 11 guys on the field, but I swear he broke 15 tackles on that one play. Like
He
it
did.
was stupid. It was stupid, man. And then Grant Wistrom. I mean, again, I hate to use another stereotype, but like, bro, it's like he's one of those guys. Like when you talk about giving all the effort on every play, like relentless pass rusher. Like you try to block him with two guys, it won't matter. He's not gonna stop coming. Think about like J.J. Watt for people that that's younger or whatnot. If you think about J.J. Watt, that's who he was before it was J.J. Watt. So I mean, they had really good players.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking J.J. Watt comparison with Winstrom too, because he was dominating. That's bad. And for y'all young folk, go like we said before, go look at Nebraska's black shirts. Grant Wistrom was the quintessential Nebraska black shirt. All right, Grant, what made Frazier, Phillips, and Winstrom impact players in your opinion?
What you got to understand about Tommy Frazier is that option football was what people ran before there was a forward pass.
Right.
And Tommy Frazier is the greatest option quarterback to ever play in college football. So you're talking about decades and decades of people running this particular form of offense. And he was the best. Mm-hmm. He was unstoppable. It was, you knew what was coming, and there was nothing you could do about it.
Right.
You were hopeless and helpless at the same time. That's quite the despair.
Yeah. And
so obviously you can't run the option without having, very capable running backs. And so what do you do when you got a guy like Lawrence Phillips who would be the starter at any Division one school? Mm-hmm. So your choices are crash down on him, and then you got Lawrence Phillips in the open field. He's gone.
Right.
Crash down on the running back, and Tommy Frazier's out there in the open field. He's gone.
Right.
Crash down on both of them. Oh, here comes the forward pass over your head.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was a dynamic duo. It was special to watch, and there was just no hope for you.
True.
And then after they're done scoring, you're going to get the ball eventually, and you got Grant Wistrom on the other side waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
And good luck if you were predominantly a passing offense to try to stop that for us.
As Danny Wolf.
Right.
Straight up. All right, Doc, Frazier, Phillips, Winstrom, why are they impactful to you?
Think about just like what y'all said about Winstrom being like the Watt before Watt, right? It's like that old football cliche, you got the motor, you know what I'm saying? Like the guys with that motor, and that's just what it was, you know what I'm saying? And being able to, you know what I mean, like to have that, and then to have the size he was playing in Nebraska, like you said, that's a head deal with. How do you scheme for somebody who's so dominant up front? And so just thinking about that as an offensive guy, like you said, if you're a passing team, you got headaches. You got headaches right up the middle. You know what I'm saying? So, that go without saying. And Frazier and Phillips, man, like to think about an option quarterback, right? You have to be a number of things. You got to be smart. You got to be, you know what I mean? You got to be very attentive. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot to read in a matter of seconds. And to think, like JG said, like the option wasn't nothing new when it got to Tommy Frazier. It was not a new concept. You know what I'm saying? He just mastered it. Like if you have a Bible for the option, Tommy Frazier is Jesus in that Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like Tommy Frazier was magical in that offense, and it really was something to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and between that and I still to this day think if Lawrence Phillips could have kept his head on straight, he's one of the best football players we've ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you think about all of that in the same backfield, You get no sleep as a defensive coordinator.
Right.
Like you said, all they're gonna do is lull you to sleep with the option, and then your corners start looking in the backfield, and now they gonna throw it over the top.
Right.
And that offense it could be boring to watch if you didn't like the running game. But it was amazing if you really understood the dynamics that go into running the option. It was I love those guys were amazing, bro.
Right. That offense is for football. I want to say purist, but not. But I don't. For lack of better terms, I'm gonna say purist because the forward pass is a part of football. But for me, for Grant Wistrom was a dominant defensive end in a time where it was mandatory to run the ball 25, 30 times a game. So you had less opportunities to hit the quarterback. Because think about it, we're talking about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's first NFL game, he threw 41 passes. Like Joe Burrow could throw 30 passes a game in college. So imagine like your quarterback not throwing that much. Mm-hmm. They're not throwing the ball 30 times, but you got a defensive end who has stats that are still comparable to defensive ends that came after him or even before him. So not only it was Grant Wistrom damn animal getting after the quarterback, but he could play the run as well. Because at that time in the defensive end, you needed to be able to play the run, even though they did have some who were just like a Derek Thomas, who was an edge specialist, but you had to be able to play the run because of the number of pass attempts were limited. So for me, like, I remember Grant Wistrom. I remember his impact. I remember his hand in the dirt and everything that he brought to the table. And because, like I say, he really solidified or was that quintessential Nebraska black shirt defender. And then, like, I don't know what else to say about Tommy Frazier and damn Lawrence Phillips. I mean, Tommy Frazier just broke another tackle, right? I mean, there's nothing for me to add to what you guys said, other than just if you haven't seen them, go watch them because they were freaking incredible. It was put like this: Nebraska ain't been good since they changed their offense. Think about that. Nebraska hasn't been good since they switched from the but Tom Osborne was the coach, right?
Yeah.
Since they let Osborne go and went from the option because they was trying to come into the new age, they haven't been good. Nobody. When the last time somebody talked about Nebraska football?
When
Scott Frost,
Miami crushed them.
Right. But so that's just how impactful that offense and these players were. All right. So, let me ask this. All right, LSU's 3 impact players, Nebraska's 3 impact players. Which 3 had the greatest impact for their team?
Ooh.
I'll jump in there. I think I'm gonna go with the LSU 3 just because I mean you could make a case that was the greatest offense that we've ever seen in college football. So by that standpoint, I would say that they had the greatest impact. And then and especially when you talk about Joe Burrow in particular, I mean, like, he had the greatest season that a quarterback has ever had.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then then you put that with the other 2, they had the greatest impact on their teams winning.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a hard one. I ain't gonna lie. I probably shouldn't ask this question. This is a hard one because
it really is. It really is because you gotta have you kind of have to take into account like. Okay, I'm thinking about Nebraska. Just like you said, they haven't been good since they tried to change their offense, right? Mm-hmm. But everything they did after those guys was gone was them trying to duplicate what they had already had.
Right.
So I think the impact that they saw that Tommy Frazier and Phillips and all those, just that whole offense was able to be successful with, they tried to duplicate it with the next guy. So I'm going to go Nebraska. I'm going to go Nebraska for the simple fact, like if you can't duplicate, if you're trying to duplicate something off of something's previous success, it's because somebody